Okay, so I have my fabric. I'm gonna put the back piece right side up, and I'm gonna take my front piece, so the piece that has the nose and buttons, and I'm gonna put it face down on top of it. You're gonna line up the edges as best you can. It's okay if it's not exactly perfect. And we're gonna go ahead and pin all the way around the edges of the fox. Remember to space every couple inches. I personally like to put my pins horizontally. I know some people do them perpendicular to the fabric. It's just up to you. So you're gonna pin it all the way around, and then once you get to the bottom side, we are going to leave an opening so that we can flip it and stuff it. So we'll probably leave it, I don't know, probably 3-ish inches. What I like to do is put an X where I'm gonna start and an X where I'm gonna stop. I always say X marks the stop. Okay, so what that means is we are going to start sewing right here. We'll stitch to this edge and pivot. We're gonna sew up the side, pivot at the ear, go across this curve, pivot here, go down the side, pivot, and then when we get to here, we will backstitch again. That will leave an opening between these two pins. All right, you're gonna line it up. You can decide if you wanna follow the 1/2 inch, which is right here on my machine, or the edge of the presser foot, whatever you are most comfortable with. Since it's not clothes, it doesn't really matter which one you follow, just as long as you sew straight. So go ahead and drop your presser foot, do your back stitch, and start sewing. All right, I'm back to my other X. I'm gonna go ahead and backstitch and pull my thread out. All right, so what I like to do first is I like to just trim my corners on the ears. This just makes it a little bit easier to flip. Just make sure you don't cut where you just sewed. So just trim it off just a little bit. Then you're gonna go ahead and flip it. So go to your opening. Just push the fabric all the way through. Go ahead and stick your finger in. Push those ears out as best you can. We want them nice and pointy. You can use a pin from the outside if you need to. And your bottom corners as well. Look how cute. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and stuff this. So you just take your batting, your stuffing. I like to push it up into the ears or the corners first, just to make sure I get them. And then you just fill it as full as you want. All right, I have my fox all stuffed. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to try to shove it up just a little bit. And you're gonna fold these two bottom edges in. Oh. And we're gonna pin it. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna hand sew this bottom, and we don't want any of those fraying edges. So we just fold those edges in towards the inside and pin it. Oops. I'm gonna get my hand sewing needle ready, and then we'll stitch across the bottom. All right, I've gone ahead and threaded my needle, I did a double layer and tied a knot in the end. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna grab this back layer of fabric and just try to keep it really close to the edge. Make sure your knot is in secure. What we're gonna do is we're just gonna take little tiny stitches about 1/4 of an inch away from each other. And you can see there makes them a little bit diagonal. So go 1/4 of an inch, go through all the layers of fabric. Try to keep it pretty close to the edge. Take out the pins as you go, pulling it nice and tight. You're just going to stitch across the entire opening. Once you get back to the other end, you're going to finish it off similar to the button. So go through the fabric and pull your needle through that loop. Pull it tight, do it a second time. Let me show you a trick. What you do is you put your needle through, push it out into the fabric, and then trim it there, and it magically disappears. And your fox is all done. Way to go!